You ever see an idea that's just brilliant? Something you know could really make a difference, but then it just fizzles out? It happens all the time, right? But what about the ones that actually make it? What's their secret sauce? Well, today we're going to dig into a framework that really separates those world-changing successes from the brilliant but failed ideas.
Estoy harto, enojado, cansado del sufrimiento, la escasez, la limitación económica, financiera, mental, emocional, física, espiritual. Tengo un sueño, una idea. ¿Por qué no hacer uso de las tecnologías actuales a nuestro favor? Explotar al máximo, hasta el infinito y hasta donde alcance. Todo con un solo objetivo,
El singular concepto híbrido de Eliana aborda directamente los problemas sistémicos del usuario moderno, unificando soluciones que las herramientas existentes solo abordan parcialmente. Las fuentes identifican que el hombre moderno se enfrenta a una peligrosa combinación de ansiedad financiera constante, falta de estructura diaria, sentirse solo con sus objetivos y lidiar con herramientas frías, impersonales o aburridas.
All right, let's start with a number that's, well, it's kind of brutal. Research shows that the number one reason new projects die isn't because they run out of cash or don't have good people. Nope, it's because they build something nobody actually wants. A full 40% of failures come down to that one single mistake. It's a huge reminder that the most important work you'll ever do happens way before you write a single line of code. Okay, so if the biggest trap out there is building the wrong thing, how do you make absolutely sure you're building the right thing? It turns out there's a really powerful way of thinking about this, a model that mixes meticulous, careful planning with a truly bold vision. Let's dive in and break it down. First up, let's talk about what we'll call the blueprint. Now, this isn't your average dusty project plan that just sits on a shelf. No way. This is a super rigorous framework that's used for really high-stakes projects. And it's all designed to build a rock-solid foundation by forcing you to ask the tough questions right at the start. At the very heart of this blueprint is something called the 5-case model. Honestly, you can think of it as a killer checklist for any big idea. The strategic case asks, why are we even doing this? Does it fit our big picture? The economic case asks, is this the absolute best way to spend our money? Then you've got the commercial case, can we actually make the deals happen to bring this to life? The financial case is simple, can we afford this, for real? And finally, the management case. Look around the room. Do we have the team that can actually pull this off? It's all about stress testing your idea from every conceivable angle. And here's the cool part. This blueprint isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. It's a journey. You start with a really rough sketch. That's the strategic outline case, just to see if the idea even has legs. If it does, great. You move on to the outline business case, where you start filling in more of the detail. And only when that looks good do you invest the time to create the full business case, which is basically the final green light. Every single step builds more confidence and cuts down the risk, so you don't pour a ton of resources into what might be a dead end. Okay, so that's the blueprint, the structured, logical, left-brain side of the equation. Now let's see how this whole idea works in the real world with a pretty fascinating case study. Building an AI companion they decided to call Eliana.
So Eliana is not your average chatbot. Not even close. We've all used those typical bots, right? You ask a question, it spits out an answer, and then poof, it's like the conversation never happened. Eliana is totally different. It's designed from the ground up to be a true companion for whatever you're trying to do. It remembers your conversations, it learns from what you've done, and it adapts to what you need over time. It's a complete reimagining of what an AI partner could be.
So how in the world does Eliana actually work? Well, think of it less like a single brain and more like a team of experts you've hired. Instead of one AI trying to do everything, Eliana has a whole team of specialists. The Eliana core is kind of like the project manager. It listens to you and directs your requests to the right expert. You've got a strategic planner for the big picture stuff, a project analyst who's all about the nitty-gritty details, and even an emotional coach to help keep you motivated. And the secret sauce that holds it all together, a shared memory, so the entire team is always on the same page about you and your project. So now we've got our two big ideas on the table. We have the blueprint, our super rigorous framework, and we have the building, our ambitious and creative AI project. At first glance, they might seem like total opposites, right? But they're actually two sides of the exact same coin. Let's see how they fit together so perfectly. To really understand how they connect, we need to get clear on two key ideas: verification and validation. Okay, so verification asks, are we building the product right? Does it tick all the boxes? Does it meet all the technical specs? But validation asks a much, much bigger question. Are we building the right product? Does this thing actually solve a real problem for a real person? See the difference? One is about getting the details right, and the other is about getting the entire vision right. And this is where it all just clicks into place. Eliana's design is basically a perfect reflection of those two principles. The strategic planner AI, that's all about validation, making sure you're always focused on the right goals, the right problem. And the project analyst AI, that's pure verification, making sure your plan is actually realistic and achievable. It's a system literally designed to help you build the right thing and build it the right way. But you know what? There's an even more powerful idea beating at the heart of Eliana. It's a concept they call co-authorship, and it's a completely new way of thinking about our relationship with technology. This one sentence right here, it captures the entire philosophy. The AI proposes, the human decides, Eliana accompanies. So the AI is your smart partner. It gives you great ideas and suggestions, but, and this is crucial, you are always in the driver's seat. You make the final call. And Eliana is there to support you every single step of the way. It's a true partnership. This shows you the difference in action. The old model, it's a one-way street. You ask, the machine answers, and that's it. Conversation over. The Eliana model is a continuous conversation, a feedback loop. The AI makes a suggestion, but you can change it, you can tweak it, you can edit it, and the AI learns from your changes and adapts. You're not just a user giving commands, you're a co-creator, shaping the outcome together. So after all that, what's the big takeaway here? It's that to build something truly new, something that really matters, you need both the blueprints and the building. You need the discipline of that formal process to ask the hard questions, and you need the creativity to dream up these bold new solutions. The real breakthroughs, they happen right at that intersection of structure and vision. And I'll leave you with this thought, which is the exact question the creators of Eliana were wrestling with for their first version. Should it be more of a brilliant analytical strategist or more of a compassionate, motivating coach? Just think about that. That one decision would end up shaping the entire experience for the user. It's a powerful reminder that even when you have the perfect plan, building the future always comes down to making smart, human-centered choices.